Welcome to Breakthrough to Brilliance podcast. This podcast is about grit, perseverance, and I bring real life stories to you of healing and transformational journeys so that you know that you can create a life on your own terms. My name is Seema Giri, your host. I'm an international speaker, best-selling and award-winning author, book writing mentor, publisher, and event producer. Welcome to Breakthrough to Brilliance podcast. I'm so happy to be here with you again with another amazing episode. Our special guest today is Michelle Teague. And before we get started with this amazing interview, we are going to do a grounding exercise, a really short meditation so we can all become present in the moment. So if you're driving, please don't close your eyes, but you can still follow along with us. So for those of us who are not driving, let's just sit in a relaxed manner with our back straight and just feel into your seat. Taking a deep breath in and exhale any frustration, any stress that you might have felt in the first half of the day so far. Taking another deep breath in all the way to your belly, past your chest, your ribs, into your belly. And exhale anything that is not serving you right now. Taking another deep breath. And exhale. And then with the next inhale, I want you to bring your awareness to your heart. And think of a happy moment. It can be from any time period in your life. It can be today, yesterday, or in your childhood. And just imagine how you felt at that time and feel it as if you're feeling this moment for the very first time. Use all of your senses. Were you eating something? What was the taste like? Who were you with? How did it make you feel? Feel that joy and the bliss of that moment. What was the smell like? Was it sweet? Was it outdoors? Was it a scent of a candle? Embrace all of those feelings as if you're feeling it right now. And just breathe that in, embody it. And with your next breath in, I want you to bring your awareness to the top of your head where the crown chakra is. And think of a second happy moment. Again, it can be from any time period of your life. And feel it as if you're feeling it for the very first time. What was there a lot of excitement? Who were you with? What were the colors like? What was the ambiance? Feel that peace you had in your heart and that blissful feeling. Just take all of that in, embody it, and feel that right now. Just take it all in with your next breath in and exhale. And now I want you to open yourself up to the possibilities of what can happen during our conversation here. What will you be feeling? Just open yourself up to receiving anything and all that is possible in this moment. Perhaps you're here for yourself, and perhaps you might be carrying a message that you hear today to someone else who may need to hear it. And you would be that conduit. So just let go of anything, any inhibitions, any kind of prejudgment, anything that will not let you be in the moment with an open mind and an open heart. And I also ask Michelle and myself to open ourselves up to be here in the present, and what is the possibilities for us when sharing our message, and what do our listeners really need to hear from us today. With the next breath in, we're going to be here in the moment, in the now. And you can open your eyes with a great big smile. Michelle, it's so wonderful having you here today. How was that meditation for you? What did you feel in your heart?
Seema, thank you so much for inviting me this afternoon. I felt joy. I felt the first thing that you asked us to do was to concentrate on a moment when we felt joy and we felt happiness. And what popped into my mind was the very first contract I ever got for my company. And when I got the news that I had been awarded the contract, I was sitting at lunch with my family. And it was a wonderful event because I got to share that with my family, and they were full of joy at that moment too. And that's what it brought me back to, just feeling that sense of joy with my family and knowing that they are there to support me and that I'm there to support them.
Wonderful. I'm sorry, we're going to have to take a pause here. I don't think she can find the key. Just 1 second.
Sure.
Thank goodness it's not live.
Exactly.
This has never happened before, but she had to go to work. She couldn't find the key. And would you know it? It was right in front.
Well, of course.
Okay. What a beautiful way to receive a message like that. What a beautiful way to receive a message like that. Being there with your family and having that celebration, that is beautiful.
It was. And it was the beginning of my company really starting to take off, but it was also a great time for our family to be able to bond over something like that.
That is amazing. And with that, I would like to give you your formal introduction.
Sure.
Michelle Teague, she has over 14 years of experience as a speaker, trainer, and coach. Michelle has conducted training and spoken from one coast to the other in the USA. She has given thousands of presentations on topics such as you can have it all, opportunities or obstacles in disguise, and becoming agents of change. Her accomplishments include speaking or presenting at various conferences and developing a leadership training program for new supervisors and managers. As a DISC certified consultant, Michelle can help you and your team discover your preferred leadership and communication styles. In addition, Michelle is a leadership expert, certified and licensed by John Maxwell Team to bring proven leadership strategies and practices to your organization. Her volunteer work includes the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life, the YWCA, the Pittsburgh chapter of the National Speakers Association, and the Scottsdale's Business and Professional Women's Club. The mother of two adult children, Michelle lives in Mount Pleasant, PA, with her husband, Jim, and her dog, Molly. Those are amazing accomplishments, Michelle.
Thank you,
That,
Seema.
that is great. So tell me, what are your core values?
Oh, that's a great question. One of the classes that I teach, one of the workshops I do is on your purpose creates your vision, which sets your goals, and it's all formed on what your core values are. The top values that I have for me are my family, my friends, and my faith. And I don't find those to be negotiable under any circumstances. When it comes to my business, though, when it comes to doing business, I have the values of being ambitious, of acting in integrity and trustworthiness, and also having the value of collaboration, wanting to collaborate with the companies and with the people that I'm working with so that I can add value to them and bring out the best in them so that they can overcome some of the challenges that they're facing.
Wow. So we are always told that core values are really important.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
Core values are what really make you up. This is who you are. And one of the points that I make in the workshops that I give is that they are non-negotiable. This is who you are. That if something goes against those values, then that's telling you something. There should be some red flags that are waving in front of you saying, this isn't for you. Your core values are what make you up. They help guide you. They help you to really figure out what's important in life and what path you need to travel based on what your values are.
And I think in my experience, when I've been coaching people, core values is something really hard for one to ascertain, especially once you're on your own. Some core values, I think most of the core values have been passed on from our parents or grandparents. It's like a family belief. And then when you're on your own and you're becoming your own leader and you're working, I find that some people have a really hard time coming up with your own unique core values, which makes them really unique to them.
Yes.
Or maybe even sometimes feel a little guilty about maybe changing their core values from what's been passed down. What has been your experience?
I agree. I think what happens is as children and as even young adults, our parents, our grandparents, the people around us help mold us in their values. Once we become independent of them, once we're out on our own, we need to really look inside of us and determine, were those values that I grew up with the same as what my values are now? Is that who I really am? And it can be a scary time for some people if they're not quite sure what their values are and what they really stand for. But I like to look at it as a very liberating and time of freedom when you're figuring out who you are. And you have the opportunity to take what you've learned up until that point and use it to move forward, but you're also molding your own life at that point. You're no longer being molded by the people around you, you are now an independent person who has the freedom to make your own choices and to choose your own path and to choose your own values. And it's important to choose wisely, but you really need to look inside yourself and figure out what's important to you and what really matters.
That's a great point. And I would at this time like to ask our listeners, can you make the distinctions if you're using the same core values as what's been passed down to you, or have you created your own core values? And I would imagine, Michelle, it's going to be a combination, right? It's going to be a combination of what's been passed down. And then as you're evolving, you come up with some of your own.
I agree, Seema. One of the, for me, one of the experiences that I had when I was growing up, my father is not. My father's very old school when it comes to, especially when it comes to girls. As a girl, a young girl, I was never allowed to go to camp, to go hunting with any of the guys. That isn't where girls were allowed to go. As a girl, I was given specific chores, cooking, cleaning, ironing, things like that, that boys weren't expected to be doing. And so when I became an adult and I got married, had children, I realized, first and foremost, I wanted my children to have a very different experience than I had when I was growing up. And so I made sure both my son and daughter could do things inside and outside of the house. I made sure they could act independently and be able to live independently once they became adults, but that they would also know how to do things, like both of them knew how to cut the grass, and both of them knew how to cook, and both of them know how to do laundry. It really came to a head one day when we were visiting my parents, and my dad saw my husband ironing his own shirt. And my dad just flew into this rage and found me and said, "Why is he ironing his shirt? That's not how you were raised." And I looked at him and I said, "Dad, just because I was raised that way doesn't make it right." And I think that's what happens when we become adults and we start living our own lives. We take a look at the values and we take a look at how we were raised, and we start to determine, was this right for me? And is this what I want to pass on to the next generation? Or do I need to evolve? And do I need to make some changes here and there?
And it's not even about being it right or wrong. It's about
No.
what feels good for you in the way that you want to live your life and how you want to evolve the next generation.
Exactly. And I didn't want my son and my daughter thinking there were things that they had to do and things that they weren't allowed to do simply based on their gender. And that was one of the values I wanted to make sure that they grew up with, was that they could do anything that they set their mind to, but also that the world wasn't predetermined based on who they were.
And that really affects the whole experience for the rest of your life, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It affects my life. It affects the life of my children, definitely my husband. The funny thing is my husband was 35 years old when we got married. He had served in the Army. He was very able to take care of himself. But my dad still had that sense that, no, that was my job. My job was to take care of him. And it's not that I don't do things for my husband. It's just, I don't think that there should be clear-cut gender roles in a marriage. I think that's one of the things that my generation and several other generations that have come up after us, they've definitely separated out things like that.
Exactly. And it's the necessity of the need, right? What if your
Yes.
husband is traveling, you can't, and you're not with him, You can't iron a shirt. So,
Exactly.
and that's just an example of these kind of things. You
Mhm.
really do need to be independent.
Yes.
So, how do you determine your purpose?
Oh, that's a great question. A lot of people will confuse their purpose from their passion, because people feel very passionate about certain areas of their life, and they think, oh, well, that must be what my purpose is. Um, Reverend T.D. Jakes tells us that our passion will actually lead us to our purpose. Our purpose is why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be passionate about that. But our purpose is truly why we're here and why we're doing what we're doing. There's a lot of people out there that aren't quite sure what their purpose is. And it can take you a little while. You really have to dig in. One of the things that I tell my coaching clients is first you need to figure out what those core values are. And once you know what your core values are, we're going to start working on your purpose, because your purpose needs to align with those core values. If your purpose isn't aligned with those core values, you're not going to feel very fulfilled as you're carrying out that purpose. And your purpose will bring passion into your life. Your purpose will make you feel like you are doing something that you were meant to do. And it's different for all of us. It's not that I can look at somebody and say, well, here's what your purpose is, go do it. It's going to be different for all of us. It's what we're called to do. It's what we're meant to do. And sometimes it takes a little while to figure that out.
The bra strap is annoying me. It falls down at the wrong time. I think finding purpose is one of the most difficult things to do. And I think I'm still determining what I'm doing now. Is that my purpose or not? Is there a way, or are there signs to tell whether you're on the right path? Is it your purpose, or on this path you're going to find your purpose? How do you know, Michelle?
I think part of it is going to be how you really have to focus in on your intuition for one, but you also have to listen to yourself, and ask yourself, am I happy doing this? Because if you're following your purpose is going to make you happy. You are going to find passion there. It is going to bring you a sense of joy. Um, if you're doing something and the joy isn't there and the happiness isn't there, then you're not really following your true purpose. Your purpose is, once you find what your purpose is, life's going to start to make sense for you. And the path that you are supposed to take will make sense. And I think a lot of times that's one of the things well, I tell people to do is figure out, what are you happy doing? What environments are you happy in? What activities are you happy in? What people are you happy to be around? That can give you clues as to what your true purpose is. If you are working a job and you're excited in the morning to get up and go to and do that job, there's something there for you then. You're in the right place. But if you're getting to the point where you dread every single day, that you just don't want to do this anymore, something inside of you is telling you this isn't for you. You're in the wrong place. It could be you're in the wrong environment. You just need to switch environments. But it also could be you're doing the wrong thing. And that's what you really need to take a look at when it comes to your purpose, because there's a lot that goes into it. You've got, like I said, the environment, you got the people that you're around, it's the actions that you're taking, and all of that fits into what your purpose is going to be, and making sure it all lines up with those core values so that it makes sense and it gives you a sense of fulfillment.
So what I'm hearing you say, and actually I would like to ask the our listeners right now to check in with themselves and see, are they following their purpose, or is it their passion?
Yeah.
And do let us know in the comments in our for the podcast. How did you know that you're following your passion? I would love to hear that from you. I just love hearing different people's view on, or how they found out that they're following their passion.
Yeah,
Which,
a real good example is I'm very passionate about animals being taken care of. For example, I have a tendency to adopt animals from animal shelters because I want to make sure that they have a good home. I want to make sure that they're well cared for. I want to make sure they have a good life, and I'm passionate about that. I will go to fundraisers for local animal shelters. I will spend time volunteering there. But that's not my purpose. My purpose is to help educate people and to help people learn new skills and to add value to themselves and to create a better form of themselves. That's my
mm,
purpose. Now, I get passionate about helping people realize and educating people about animals that are out there. So when I'm doing that, I'm very passionate about it, but that's not necessarily my purpose. My purpose, like I said, is to help others and to help educate them. So that's where you can see a difference between the two.
that's a great distinction. And I think what I'm hearing you say is that you should feel alive. You should feel that it's really easy to do. It comes easily your way. I think too often we're told that if you want to do something well or to get ahead in life, things, it's really hard. It's really difficult. So I think we get a little um, surprised when the our purpose is, it feels really easy. It just comes really natural.
Well, and the other thing is a lot of times we will be led down different paths because somebody will tell us, no, you don't want to go into that particular career because you won't make very much money out of that. And you got to make money so that you can, pay the rent and put food on the table.
Right.
And I understand that. However, if that's what your purpose is, that's what your purpose is. And the reality is you're going to be successful in your purpose, and you're going to help not only yourself, but you're going to help other people around you because you live your purpose.
I have seen so many people who don't have a great high level of education, or maybe sometimes not even education, but because they followed the purpose, they were able to really take off, do well financially, do well socially, and help so many other people. So if that is your thing,
Yeah,
whatever that thing is, it can really take you to new heights.
it can.
So this
And
is
don't let other people get in the way of you fulfilling your purpose.
exactly. And I think even if you do let them get in the way, at some point in your life, you get back to it. It finds you. It won't let you sleep. It won't let you be alone until you start doing it. I've seen so many people, they've had their whole career, and once they're retired or the children have grown up, they get back into their purpose, and then their whole life changes.
I agree.
We've talked about the core values and the purpose. I guess we have to talk about vision. Do we need to have a vision?
That's true. And your vision will line up with both your core values and with your purpose. If you're living your purpose, it's going to pull you forward, and your vision is where you're going. Your vision is what's life going to look like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What's in your life at that point? Where are you living? Where are you working? Who is in your life?
Mhm.
And who is in your life is just as important as where your life has taken you and where your purpose has taken you. You want to make sure that the right people are in your life. And one of the things that I work with my coaching clients is to have a crystal clear vision of what life is going to look like for them, because your purpose is going to take you there. And what people don't seem to realize is the clearer you can get on what your vision is, and where it is that you're going, the easier it's going to be to get there.
So, Michelle, do we need to have our vision contained, or can we let our imagination run wild and have it whatever we can think of?
And let that imagination go. It's your vision, and it can be anything that you want. This is where you're going to be. This is what you want out of life. So dream big. Don't settle for what you think you need to get by. That's not what life is about. You're with my faith, my God tells me I can do anything through him, and he will, provide for me as long as I have faith in him. And so dream big. You're not here on earth to do small things. You're here on earth to do big things. And your vision needs to be bigger than you think you can complete. Because the thing is, once you start setting that vision and you start working towards it, A, you're going to get there faster than you thought. And B, once you get there, you're going to realize, I should have thought bigger. I should have went for the multi-million-dollar home on the private island with the great car, the flying car. Heck, forget about regular cars. I want my flying car, and all this other stuff. So think big. Let your imagination go.
Yeah, I think sometimes we let our limiting beliefs stop us. So think about this way. What if,
Yes.
What if? And what if it actually happens?
Yeah.
You're writing it down.
Yes.
And you're letting the universe know that this is what you want.
Exactly.
And what if? I think we get scared that what if the things that we really want actually happens.
And you're right. I think people do get scared. And I think that's one of the reasons why they think small. It's because, this is all that they can handle. And that's not it. That's not what the universe wants for you. The universe is abundant. And you have to have that abundance mentality, that there is plenty out there for you and there's plenty out there for everybody else. It's not a scarcity mentality where there's only so much to go around. There is plenty to go around. And when you incorporate that into your vision, it will open up new things for you.
Exactly. And I would like to say at this point that, we are taught in this way. So it's not your fault. I don't want you to beat yourself up on this, like, why am I not doing this? Or why am I? The way our system, the society system and the school system is, we have been taught to think small and be limited and all of that. But now is the time to break free.
Yes.
Break free to your brilliance. Really let it shine, let it out. And, just let it. It's like Michelle said, it's all about abundance, and it's what you're thinking of in your mind. So make small changes if you need to, but eventually get there where open yourself up to possibilities. Sky is the limit, like we say.
Exactly. And don't limit yourself. Just keep going. And the other thing about having an abundance mindset is it's not only not limiting yourself, but also not limiting the people around you. Firmly believing in them and that they're capable of doing anything and everything, and that they can have whatever it is that they need. So that abundance mindset applies not only to you, but the people around you, and making sure that that's how you interact with them, that they're capable of doing this too.
Exactly. You can lead by example.
Yes. Ye-
Michelle, I've learned so much from you during this time, and I'm sure our listeners have taken several points to heart that would definitely help them. Do check in with yourself and see where you are based on your core values, your purpose, and your goals. I think this is a great time of the year to check in again and maybe make some revisions. It's okay to change your goals, because maybe your purpose have changed or new things have changed in your life. Michelle, do you have a free gift for our listeners?
Of course, they can go to my website, ateagueofyourown.com. And actually, if they go to ateagueofyourown.com/gift, they will find in there a core values worksheet that they can download for free, and they can help figure out what those core values are, what matters to them, who it is that they really are.
Wow. I think I'm going to get that too. That is an amazing gift. Thank you so much. I'm sure our listeners are going to really enjoy that and just check in with themselves to see where they are with that.
Sure. I'm glad that I could be a part of your show. And thanks so much once again, Seema, for inviting me.
Oh, it was such a pleasure having you. And I think you have such an important component. What you teach and educate people on is so important that I know it's going to help so many people, to our audience and beyond. Thank you for being here and sharing your wonderful time with us, and and our listeners. Until next time, this is Seema.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed our time together. I know I did. Through this transformational journey, I hope you could see yourself taking similar steps, breaking free to your brilliance, and creating the life that you desire. Please subscribe to our Break Free to Brilliance podcast at your favorite listening place. Tune in to next time for another amazing episode.